Saudi Aramco is the state-owned oil company in Saudi Arabia, and it plans to list in 2018.
They're working on it. So effectively, this is like what PetroChina have done already. They're going to take a portion of the state assets, which are production, huge in the Saudi region, some of the world's largest oil fields, and the downstream assets, bring it to market, float a small part, potentially to global investors, either in London or in New York, or maybe in the Saudi markets themselves.
You mentioned off-air valuation here, market cap potentially $2 trillion?
Well, of course, it depends on the oil price, but they reckon it should be worth that, or 2.5 even. The Saudis think, but no one else seems like they're all that excited.
Put that potential size into context.
Okay, so the absolute minimum value that they've given Saudi Aramco is about 1.25 trillion. To put into perspective, Apple hit an all-time high a couple of days ago, iPhone selling well. I think that's about 880 billion.
So this will be the world's largest
So this will be
company.
$400 billion bigger at a minimum than Apple. So it'll be by far the world's largest company. And of course, stock exchanges around the world really want to get the stock listed. So I mean, you've got the London Stock Exchange fighting with the New York Stock Exchange, and you've got lawyers wishing to push things through and trying to get this thing listed as soon as possible.
But if they're going to copy the model that we've just seen from the China company that we were chatting about, then you're going to have a very small free float again that people are going to be...
Correct, and that brings it its own issues from a legislative and legal perspective as well, and that's why everyone's trying to get through all this red tape. But it'll give you an opportunity to say, well, I want to invest in a company that produces 1 out of every 9 barrels produced every day in the world. I mean, that's by far the largest, so it's more than 10%.
Yeah, because to come back to my numbers, which you remembered, right?
Yes, 25
and 4.
25 and 4.
So 25 billion
and million
barrels of oil reserves, ExxonMobil. These guys have got 260 billion barrels of oil reserves.
So we're comparing 25 billion to 260 billion.
And the daily production of ExxonMobil was 4 million barrels a day. These guys are at 11. So they are by far the world's largest swing producer. They've got the biggest fields with the most oil. So they are and probably deserve that valuation. Whether or not it will be an attractive investment, well, I don't know. Because corporate governance, you know what happens in Saudi? The decisions are made by people who, you know, like dance around with swords in their tents in the sand.
Don't go and visit Saudi, because I also believe their disciplinary measures are rather onerous.
Maybe the board members get a free falcon when you go to the meetings.
That's pretty cool, actually. I like that.
You want a free falcon?
Well, wouldn't you? That's so awesome. What a great corporate gift.
Each to their
Instead
own.
of a pen, you get a falcon. That's fantastic.
I'm being silly. That's unfair. I mean, it will be run professionally, but again, this could be a company that's dictated to by the exigencies of the Saudi state rather than you, the minority shareholder.
I'd be quite happy to punt it, because they produce oil at almost next to nothing. A very, very low cost producer.
So watch out carefully for the listing in 2018.
I'd be very interested. I would be hot on that. I haven't seen any numbers per se, so it's just going on my own personal feeling. But yeah, I would be interested.
Okay, well, when it comes, I'm planning to avoid it. But you know, that's
so you're not hot.
We've diverged. Damn.
There we are. The divergence had to come.